Record. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. This is a session on home energy resilience cooperative as part of Electrify Asheville Buncombe. And we're gathered here today to learn more about energy resilience in Asheville and Buncombe County. So just a couple of housekeeping things as we get started. We are recording and we'll share the recording out with everyone by email afterwards. And then as questions come up for you, please put them in the chat and we'll have a Q&A at the end. So getting started, just wanting to introduce you to the people presenting this evening. I'm Emily Hurd with Let's Go Electric, and I'll be talking a little bit about Electrify Asheville Buncombe. Casey Filer, also with Let's Go Electric, will give an overview of the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative Program. And then we're honored to have two solar contractors with us this evening working on the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative Program. That's Edward Wright from Rhino Renewable Solar and Electric, as well as Doug Ager from Sugar Hollow Solar. And then Sophie Mullinax from Let's Go Electric will talk about financial incentives and financing options. We'll also talk about the Nature's Generator, portable solar generator that's part of this program. And then we'll wrap up and have a Q&A. So just a little bit about Electrify Asheville Buncombe. It's a city and county sponsored program that launched in 2024, focused on home electrification and energy efficiency. Not only are we focused on supporting residents of Asheville and Buncombe and creating an energy efficient home that saves costs and saves energy, we're also working toward the 100% renewable energy, clean energy goals of the city of Asheville and Buncombe County. So those are some of our big motivators for Electrify Asheville Buncombe. And when we're talking about electrification, we're really talking about two separate things that work together. The first is replacing any machines that currently run on fossil fuels with an electric appliance or counterpart. And then the second part is powering those electric machines with clean, renewable energy. So having replacing a gas stove with an electric induction stove, and then powering that stove with solar and battery storage at your home. So one of Electrify Asheville Buncombe's new programs that we launched over the last few months, and I see some familiar names on this call, from our Home Energy Navigator program. It's been a great opportunity for those of us at Electrify Asheville Buncombe and Let's Go Electric to connect directly with homeowners in Asheville and Buncombe County to really look at what's the best way to create an more energy efficient home and save money and energy. So through the Home Energy Navigator program, we're also able to, collect information and then make recommendations, as well as connect residents with local contractors that are part of our Electrify Asheville Buncombe network. And just want to pause for a moment to acknowledge the beautiful land that we live in and the devastation that we've experienced and some of us are still experiencing today. And I'd like to hand things over to Casey to talk a little bit more about Home Energy Resilience Cooperative.
Yes, so Home Energy Resilience Cooperative, the point of this meeting. So as a response to Hurricane Helene, we started getting many emails from our contact lists through Buncombe County and the wider Western North Carolina region, asking about renewable energy and their options. And instead of emailing everybody one by one, we decided to address the commonly asked question, what are you looking for to make your home more energy resilient? We sent a survey out, and below are the responses, but the overwhelming majority was about solar energy and specifically battery backup. The next one. Okay. Which led to the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative. The Home Energy Resilience Cooperative is a series of group purchase campaigns designed to aid residents in rebuilding efforts by providing high quality clean energy technologies with services from vetted local contractors. And next slide. Why do we do this? Keeping any clean energy investments local is always a good thing, especially supporting smaller businesses in the time of recovery after this major event. And the program itself can connect consumers with them in an easy flow with high quality products and services. And this campaign offers solar energy and battery storage, like I mentioned before. But we also decided to include a solar generator option. We understand that a whole solar panel system and a home battery backup system is not achievable for everybody, but some people would like a clean energy alternative for backup power, which is where solar generators come in. So, in order to participate in the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative, there's one of four steps. You choose one of the options listed below, which is solar energy and battery storage only, which can be done without solar panels, by the way, and a solar generator. You choose one of the three, and then you schedule a Home Energy Navigator appointment with us, where we will discuss your options and refer you to our contractors. And once you get connected with that contractor, you can choose your service, follow through on your contract, and receive a rebate up to $250 or an in-kind donation to the Footprint Project, which is a solar nonprofit that has been working on installing microgrid around Western North Carolina and recovery efforts. And for solar generators, that's just a one-stop shop. You go on our platform, Electrify Asheville Buncombe, and you just need to click the one you want and go to checkout. Okay, now handing it off to Ed at Rhino Renewables.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I assume you guys can hear me. Good. On my name's Edward or Ed Wright. I often get referred to as Ed. Um, One of the owners at Rhino Renewables. We're a local Asheville turnkey solar installer and electrician as well. So we work in Western North Carolina primarily providing renewable energy solutions, specifically solar and battery storage and smart home upgrades to homeowners and business owners alike in the area. Um, we obviously were excited for an opportunity to work with the Herc team and Electrify Asheville Buncombe County team and also the city for any kind of resiliency efforts, get the word out, try and get people good systems and products. I believe we've got a list here. I'll go through kind of what we offer. So we try to be flexible in our offerings. There are some limitations. We can't do everything, but we've got a couple different panel options here. Silfab and Mission. Those are both U.S. and Canadian made solar module brands, boasting longer than average warranty times and quality components from at least a North American made perspective. Mission is all American technically. Silfab is Canadian American. In terms of batteries, we do quite a lot of Enphase energy systems. Enphase is a California-based microinverter manufacturer and battery manufacturer. We also install Franklin's and Tesla's as well. Franklin is a third-party AC coupled battery that requires an inverter, where Tesla is an all-in-one unit We won't get into that level of detail in this call. Obviously, when you talk with us and get a quote, that's where most of that information comes out. So you see in the inverter section, Tesla Powerwall 3 that's integrated, and then we traditionally do use the Enphase IQ series microinverters. The IQ-M is listed here, 8M, I should say. There's other variants as well that sometimes come up. We have gotten traditionally further into smart load control, especially with recent code changes with NEC code for North Carolina. A lot of folks are looking towards some form of smart load control in their battery system. What a smart load control allows you to do is, uh, in simple terms, it allows you to back up additional components in a house without having to overspend on getting enough batteries to do so. That sounds a little bit like a trick answer, but that is truly what happens. What can happen is if you don't have enough power in your battery backup system to power all the loads you want to, you may need a controller that allows it to actually do that functionally and also in a lot of cases code compliantly. Um, that's a picture of a house in Weaverville that we installed solar on last year at some point. They've got a big battery system in the basement. That's an Enphase system, and those solar modules are actually neither of these brands. That's an REC solar product, but that's beside the case. In any case, yeah, that's pretty much us. I'd be happy to talk with anyone. We do free quotes, estimates. Realistically, we do what's called an education-based sales approach. So try to inform people on all the different options they have, get them as much information up front as possible so they can really make an informed decision, which is part of why we offer so many different options, because we do find people come from all walks of life and everyone's going to want something a little bit different. Every solution or every situation might have a different solution. But that's pretty much it about us.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
And now we'd like to hear from Doug with Sugar Hollow Solar. Hey, Doug.
Hey, how's everybody
Let me
doing?
change this. Hold on just a second. Here we go.
Thanks everybody. Good to be here and um appreciate everybody showing up today and I'm glad Ed got to go first there. He got to cover a lot of the stuff that I don't have to cover now. So um but yeah, we're honored to be part of this program. We we're similar to Rhino. We're local to the area. We've been around since 2010, and my cousin and I founded the company. We both grew up kind of out in Fairview, and we've been in the solar game for I guess this year it'll be 15 years, and so we have a good team here, and yeah, I think you know kind of thinking about the hurricane and I think for this group, I think a lot of us are thinking about, how do we have more resiliency here, in our community? I think, I have a solar system. I did not have a battery system, and so, I think a lot of us are rethinking that, as are a lot of people in our community, just thinking about, one of our, our kind of driving force here is to mitigate climate change to kind of, try to minimize its impacts on the planet. And I think me, like a lot of people, I think, at the same time, I think it's, part of it is climate change is happening, it's real. And so kind of we have to also adapt, right? And so I think the great thing about, solar and batteries is we can kind of do that at the same time. And the technology is here. It's good technology. And so I think we're all kind of looking at that. And yeah, I guess those are I guess thinking about I think for Sugar Hollow Solar, we're really committed to, building solar that can for the long term. Our family's been here. My cousin and I founded the company. Our family's been here for I guess we're almost fifth generation here now, and we are committed to the area. We're committed to making sure these systems work for the long term. That's kind of one of our kind of core values as far as we want to build it right. And I know Ed and his team have like-minded values. But yeah, there's a lot of solar companies out there that maybe don't do as good of a job and maybe aren't looking at the long term. And so that's definitely one of our values. Um, I guess as far as getting into materials, we offer similar products and materials as to what Rhino offers. We offer a Q cell module, which there's a big Q cell factory down in Georgia. I don't know. I'm not sure if the modules coming out of there right now are American made, but I know if these ones aren't, then soon enough they will be. And we're pretty committed to them. They're a great module. And then the batteries. You know, we the battery technology has gotten a lot better. I think in the early days of solar, it was a lot of lead acid batteries. We installed quite a bit of those, and then we kind of stopped installing them because there was a lot of maintenance issues on them. They didn't work that well, but the newest batteries do work really well, and so the Tesla is kind of the leading battery. They've been the leader for a long time. A lot of us have issues with some of the things Tesla has done in the recent future, and I think we're excited that there are alternatives now that customers can opt for. And so the Franklin is it's similar to the Tesla. It can do a lot of the same things, and so yeah, we've been excited to be able to offer that as well. It's a great battery. And then I think y'all are going to probably talk a little bit more about the Duke Power Pair program. And so the Solar Edge is also as far as inverter options, it pairs well with the Franklin, and it also there's some advantages to it as far as the power pair and kind of system sizing and all of that, which is why we've chosen. If you can go to the next slide here, I think I added a picture of our team on the next slide here. This is our current team. I thought I'll just put that in there. We were actually impacted by the hurricane. Our warehouse, this is our new warehouse, but our old warehouse got flooded out completely. And so the last 6 months have been challenging, but we were able to hold the team together. It's been a wild 6 months, but here we are in our new place. And we're luckily, there's a lot of demand right now. I think a lot of people are looking for these options, and so um, we're uh, we're we're thankful that we're able to keep going strong here, and we've been able to hold the team together. And then let's see what's on the next slide there. I can't remember what I put there. Oh yeah, this is I guess kind of getting into more just modules. This is some of our team. You can kind of see the panels that we. This is I think most of these are Q cells. I could be wrong about that, but generally this is kind of what they look like. It's pretty standard black module on some different houses in Asheville, Buncombe County, and then maybe go to the next slide. You can kind of see some pictures of the batteries. The one on the left there, the Franklin, kind of tied with I don't know if that's actually the newest version of the Franklin. Ed might know better than I do, but and those Franklins are the Powerwall 2, the upgraded Powerwall 3s. Like Ed said, they have the inverters built into the batteries, which has some advantages as well. And all this technology is getting a lot better. It's getting cheaper, and yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. Thanks for letting me speak here.
Thank you. And we're honored to work with both of your companies, such community-driven solar companies that represent Asheville and Buncombe County, and perhaps beyond. So thank you so much for going over your offerings through Home Energy Resilience Cooperative. And now we're going to talk a little bit about Nature's Generator, solar generator. Sophie?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to Rhino and to Sugar Hollow, both incredible local companies that we're just so pleased to partner with. And hopefully you'll find that that's one of the benefits of this limited time program is that we take a lot of the guesswork out for you and we're referring to two trusted local vetted contractors. So any investment that you make in solar and battery will stay within our community supporting, our local businesses who are in it just like the rest of us with recovery and climate resilience, post-hurricane, getting ready for whatever comes next. Anyway, so for folks like me, where I have a lot of tree cover, which I'm grateful for around my house, this is an option that we wanted to provide for folks who are looking for an alternative to fossil fuel-based generators. And Nature's Generator is a company that our company has had experience with in the Virgin Islands post Hurricane Irma in the Virgin Islands. And these generators have been tried and true in those communities that experience frequent brownouts and blackouts and need the resiliency of something really portable. So I've been able to test out one of these portable generators at my home. I have to move it around my deck because, like I said, I've got a lot of tree cover, but I move it around to follow the sun, and it's a nice excuse to go outside and rotate the solar panel to follow the sun. They're great. You can lift them yourself. The solar panel is sized so that it's easily mobile. So looking at this 1800-watt model, this can power a fridge for about 24 hours. So that kind of gives you a frame of reference. If you have this charged all the way and you experience a blackout, you'll be good powering a fridge for 24 hours or so. And so items that use less electricity would be powered for longer. Depending on how you use it, it could last you quite a long time. And then when the sun is out again, you can charge it up. Both of these options also have the option to integrate directly into your electrical panel. So you could power certain circuits in your home, like your kitchen circuit or your bathroom circuit, or what have you, wherever you would like to make it a little bit more seamless in terms of backup power. So there's no actual consultation needed for purchasing this. We've negotiated a 30% group discount through April, I believe. It says March, but I believe it's through April. So those are available to purchase now. And if you're ever going to come to any of our events in the next month or so, we'll have them in person for you to take a look at. Next slide.
I kind of want one.
Yeah, they're pretty
I had
cool.
to email you guys on the side, talk about this discount.
Yeah, they're cool and just a great option.
They're neat. That's really neat stuff. I like that.
Pretty affordable too. So, trying to find an option for every type of person who's just looking to become a little bit more resilient. Next slide. So part of Electrify Asheville Buncombe is that we're proud to partner with the first green bank in North Carolina. So they offer an electrification loan, but they also have a solar energy loan, which both Rhino Renewables and Sugar Hollow are eligible to offer. And so this is just an alternative to other financing that might be available to you if you're looking at going solar or getting a battery or battery plus solar. So I don't want to get into too many of the details, but just know that there's a new nonprofit green bank in North Carolina that's offering financing through these two installers that we're partnering with for Home Energy Resilience Cooperative.
I would add a comment that their rates have changed. So that if it's out, but yeah, anyhow. It happened after you sent the email, so I didn't catch it in time. Sorry.
Right, yeah. So like any loan product, the rates are subject to change, I think on a monthly-ish basis. So good to know, good to get the most up-to-date rates. And either solar installer ought to have that at their fingertips when they're consulting with you. And lastly, another great incentive right now to go solar or get battery storage is the federal tax credit. So if you go solar and or get a battery or both, you're eligible for a 30% tax credit of 30%, and there's no cap to this. And so if you're just looking at a battery, as long as the battery is over 3 kilowatts in capacity, you qualify for this 30% tax credit. So just thinking back to those Nature's Generator options, you get 2 of the lithium 1800 or 1 or more of the 3600. That also qualifies for the federal tax credit. I have a neighbor who took advantage of that, and she ordered two of the 1,800 in order to get that 30% tax credit next year. So obviously we're in an uncertain climate with clean energy policy, but 2025, most experts and analysis, leads us to believe that if you go solar and get battery storage now, getting that income-based tax credit is pretty safe. Who knows what will happen, but they're available through 2032, at least as of now. Another incentive to highlight, which is a huge opportunity, is Duke Energy Power Pair. Both of our solar installers here, Sugar Hollow and Rhino, are extremely well versed in the nitty gritty and details and ins and outs of how this program works, but the nuts and bolts are this applies to only new solar and battery storage projects. So if you have solar right now and you're getting a battery, you unfortunately don't qualify. Or if you're adding solar to an existing system, you don't qualify. But for new solar and new battery storage projects, you can get up to $9,000 back from Duke Energy in the form of a rebate. And they have a list of qualifying products and batteries, and you also have to use one of their participating installers, which Rhino Renewables and Sugar Hollow are already. So you're in good hands with both of our firms. And then additionally, if you qualify for Power Pair, you can enroll additionally into the EnergyWise Home Battery Control Program, which gives you an additional monthly incentive based on the battery capacity. So really great options there. Next slide. And we invite you to, oh yeah, go ahead, Emily. Sorry about that.
Well, no problem. Yeah, really, we're just wrapping up now and gearing up for any questions you may have. And if anyone wants to ask more specific questions about Parapair or any of the materials, then we can do that in just a moment. So in terms of taking advantage of these opportunities through Home Energy Resilience Cooperative, some of you in this meeting already have, you're already on the road, on the path. And what we'd like to do is invite you to also join us in person on April 9th to connect directly about the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative. It'll be another chance to learn more about the program, connect with all of us in person, and that's on April 9th at 4:30 p.m. You can sign up for the Home Energy Resilience Cooperative, otherwise known as HERC, program at electrifyabc.com. And that's where you can create a home energy profile that kind of takes you step by step through the electrification process or journey at your home. And you can also schedule a session to get started with solar and battery options with Rhino Renewables and Sugar Hollow Solar. You can sign up for a Home Energy Navigator session to get some consultation services for free. And you can also make purchases like the portable solar generators that Sophie covered just a moment ago. One more thing about our April 9th event in person, we're actually raffling a free energy audit for anyone who attends the event on April 9th at 4:30 p.m. That's at the East Asheville Library. You'll be entered into a raffle to win an energy audit. It's a diagnostic assessment from Conservation Pros, who's one of the local contractors that we work with in Electrify Asheville Buncombe. And it's a great next step or first step in diagnosing how to improve energy efficiency and where to get the most savings in cost and energy. So electrifyabc.com, and that QR code leads to the event registration. So we'd love to open it up to questions. Do we have anything already in the chat?
Yeah, we've got a question that I believe Ed is teed up to answer, which is, if you don't qualify for Power Pair, can you still enroll in EnergyWise for batteries?
Yeah, I was quick on that, and so I'll just answer it because it's something that's come up a lot recently. So yes, you can. So the energy battery control, it's called EnergyWise through Duke Progress, I think it's called. something else through Duke Carolinas. It's the same program. It's available to anyone who has solar with battery storage device. It's not tied to PowerPair in that regard. For those clients or customers, it's a 10-year program with a 1-year mandatory enrollment period. So you would sign up, you'd buy a battery, install it, you'd sign up, you'd have to enroll for a minimum of 1 year. Once you're done with that year, you could opt out. Otherwise, you could stay in it for 10 years, and it provides you the same benefits that the battery control portion of PowerPair provides. That's a neat way to utilize your distributed energy resource and your battery for continued savings after installation.
And do you need to actually have solar too, or can you do
That's a really
anything?
good question.
I think you don't have to have solar from what I've read, but I wanted to ask the experts.
That's a really good question, which means I don't know the answer. But
Mhm.
I've got the number of the director, and I can ask her. It's quite infrequent that we do battery without solar, to be honest, but it's happened and it does happen. In theory, it shouldn't matter because the battery will be fully charged and they only take 80% of the capacity, but I would have to ask them to find out. The accrued credits are cumulative. The way that it works is, oh, well, sorry, I'm skipping other questions. Let me let them lead and we can answer them as they come up.
Yeah, that's okay. There's a question in the chat about the past solar rebates from Duke Energy that's run out really fast. Yeah, so there was multiple years of a Duke Energy solar rebate, which I'm sure Ed and Doug have a lot to say about. But that did run out fast, and then it was a lottery system. But PowerPair is a little bit different. It's capacity based, and last I saw, it's 50% or so subscribed in this territory. But I'd invite Ed or Doug to expound on that.
Um, yeah, I can speak a little bit to that. Yeah, they've done this rebate differently than they did the ones previously. Thankfully, I think they learned from their previous ones where they had the way they did it before was it was like an allotment per year, and this one they just kind of opened it up completely, and so it's basically opened up until it gets full. So there's no kind of waiting period or anything on the Power Pair rebate.
Yeah, it started out, there was a month where they did it um as a lottery style application, but it got like barely anyone applied, and so it didn't matter. And after that month, that was last June, they opened it up. So it's first come, first serve. There's 30 megawatts per Duke territory. Progress in Carolinas. Progress has been more successful thanks to us. And when I say us, that's proverbial. Us in Sugar Hollow and everyone else in Western North Carolina and Raleigh area as well. But yeah, it's been more successful in progress. So we're just over halfway through the available capacity. There is one note that's important. The capacity is a 80-20 split between power pair and power pair with battery control, and I should have reversed that and said it the other way. So 80% are available to do power pair and battery control, but 20% has to go to power pair without battery control. To get into the meat and potatoes of what that means to each individual would really be a personal conversation, so we won't get into that now. But it's still got healthy capacity, and it's certainly not as complicated as the previous 2017 through 2022 iteration of a Duke rebate was.
Okay, we've got another question about this one's about are the accrued credits cumulative?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to answer, and I realized I was jumping the line. So I believe that question is asking about battery control credits, and they are cumulative. Battery control credits go to anything on the bill, and the way the battery control credits calculated is based on the available kilowatt power capabilities of the battery in question. And they'll have that listed on their website for their accepted batteries, so it'll be different for each one. But basically, you can get up to 20 kW and you'll get a certain amount of credit back every month for 10 years. And if you can't use the credit, which goes to anything in the bill, connection fees, anything of the like, it does accrue endlessly, essentially. And we have been told if you ever reach a point where it no longer makes sense to continue accruing them, you can request it back in a refund. So does hold a true cash value, which is much different in comparison to the way that net metering works, where there's not really a true cash value on additional credits, both in the old system, somewhat different in the new system. But yeah, it does continue to roll.
Another question in the chat that I'll read out so everybody has access. So so this is for David Gordon, you should just unmute and ask, but I can read it for you if you want.
But
Yeah, no worries at all. I'm happy to read it out. I'm getting into nitty-gritties for a personal situation, but if I have solar and I were to add a battery, I'm just wondering if that would require a new interconnection, thus
sure,
negating my current grandfathered status for the
sure.
deal I've got set up.
Yeah, no and yes all at the same time. You do have to tell Duke what you're doing, so you have to get the installer to put together an interconnection agreement. Would it be new? Kind of not. So it's really just an expansion. Like if you're going to expand a system or add a battery, you should be doing this anyway, and it would not impact your current metering rate. So if you're a traditional legacy net metering client such as myself, and I just chose to add a battery and get onto the battery control program, I don't have to forego my existing rate, which you
Awesome.
will forego anyway in 2027, but you got a year and a half. So
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions out there? Here's another one. Thanks, Chris. So this one's about solar interconnection. Took a few weeks for Duke to complete. How quickly does that interconnection process take for battery? If you're
it's
adding a battery?
it's the same process. They are allowed to take up to 10 business days. That's assuming that there aren't any inconsistencies in the application report. So, it should take a maximum of 10 business days, but if we made a typo, sorry about that if we did it. Sometimes Duke also makes their own typos. I've experienced that quite a few times where they miss something and don't quite catch up. But so yeah, it's the same process. It's in a portion of the interconnection agreement that we apply for has a battery section in it.
Are there any other questions out there? If not, we'll be wrapping it up. Thank you so much for joining. And Ed and Doug, both of you, thank you for being here to contribute and help everyone figure out how to build energy resilience. So again, if you want more information about home energy resilience cooperative, we've got the electrifyabc.com website here on the screen. And thank you so much. This has been great. And we hope to see you on April 9th in person at the East Asheville Library. Have a great evening.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much for your
everyone.
time.
We'll see you
So,
guys
Bye.
in a couple weeks.
see ya.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Good
Thank
evening.
you so much.